Today, millions of Americans are celebrating the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The holiday is observed every third Monday in January, and this year it falls just days after the 90th birthday of the iconic civil rights leader, 90. It also comes at a time when some lawmakers say the political drama unfolding in Washington clashes with Dr. King's vision. CBS This Morning's Saturday co-host Michelle Miller is here with how the partial government shutdown is now affecting MLK Day celebrations. I know the shutdown affects many things that you don't even think about right away. It's more than just 800,000 people not getting paid. Hello, Michelle.
Good morning. The impact goes on and
Yes.
on and on. Many sites often visited to commemorate Dr. King are closed today because of the partial government shutdown. The Martin Luther King Jr. National Historic Park in Atlanta was set to be closed, but on Thursday, private funding came through to open it up.
Hundreds braved the elements in Atlanta this weekend to pay homage to the father of the modern-day civil rights movement.
Rain, snow, I would have came.
Sheila Thompson came all the way from Connecticut.
We cannot tolerate it any longer. The cup of endurance has run over.
It's like I can see him talking, and you right in the room, he's right here with you.
You shall reap what you sow.
I wish I could have seen him in person. He was a great man. He did a lot.
Yes, sir.
Not just for black people, he did a lot for everybody. Is this correct?
Chloe Johnson and her friends drove 5 hours from Florida here. They learned the center was only open for the holiday weekend thanks to private funding, and they're grateful.
We came down here because it's Martin Luther King weekend, and if they would have closed it, I would have been highly upset, like, period.
Can you see? Can you see?
It's his week, it's his day. Like, we need to learn about our history, we need to learn about Dr. King and what he did for us.
But others weren't as lucky. Some sites in Alabama and Washington, D.C. that celebrate Dr. King and the civil rights movement remain closed, leaving visitors like Kate Kahn disappointed on this holiday weekend.
After my Women's March, I wanted to specifically come to the African American Museum here, especially this weekend. Like, open it up, just pay for it, just figure it out. This is why we're all here.
DeQ King came from Boston with a busload of international students.
They heard about Dr. King, they want to see the museum, they want to follow up on the history, but they cannot.
May it drive us back to the vision of Dr. King.
And that concerns the Reverend Raphael Warnock, who now presides over Atlanta's Ebenezer Baptist Church, where King co-pastored with his father.
There's a deep irony that the place that houses the spiritual and moral legacy of the great unifier has been closed down over the last few days because of the petty politicians.
Along with volunteers, Reverend Warnock spent the weekend trying to ease the financial hardship the shutdown has brought to so many federal workers in his community.
We have a president who has shut the government down in order to build a wall. So we ought to think about that as we go into this weekend celebrating the life and the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr.
I come to say to you this afternoon, however difficult the moment, yes, sir, however frustrating the hour,
he spent his whole life speaking out against the triple evils of racism, poverty, and war. Those evils are still with us. And in a moment like this, we need people of faith and moral courage to stand up.
Now, one of the Florida women in Atlanta told us she was touched to see visitors of all nationalities celebrate MLK's legacy at the historic park. Dr. King fought for everyone's rights, regardless of race, and she felt united going through the museum with them. And we should say, you know, I've heard people say, you know, we don't celebrate this holiday. This holiday isn't for us. It is for everybody, American, and every person in this entire world.
Well, and as appropriately pointed out, I mean, known as a civil rights figure, but also opposed the war in Vietnam. I mean, in many ways was a larger figure even than that in terms of a peaceful movement.
He believed in humanity.
And that's the beauty of that speech in 1963. He wraps the whole country together, and African Americans' place in it or not place in it as he makes the case, but it's clear that it's for the whole country.
It's good to be reminded today.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Very nice.
Thank you, Michelle.